We begin our journey with Eren Yeager, who is awakened by Mikasa Ackerman from a nightmare. They run into army cops returning to Shingeki, an outlier of Juan Maria, and we are introduced to Mr. Hans, who Eren reprimands for drinking on duty. Eren shows a fascination with returning scouts, but upon discovering they have been through hell upon returning from an expedition, he realizes their plight. Eren's father leaves after promising to show him the basement work when he returns. Eren runs away after an argument with his mother about joining the scouts. Our next character is Armin, Eren's best friend. Armin talks about how the walls of protection have not been breached in 100 years, but that's no guarantee of safety. A colossal titan appears and destroys the gate part of the wall. During the attack, Eren's mother's home was destroyed, so he and Mikasa tried to save her before an approaching titan arrived. Mr. Hans then arrived, taking the kids away as Eren's mother was tragically eaten right in front of Eren's massive eyes. As the populace flees, massive backups occur, so the guards close the gate to protect the rest of the city. Refugees are forced to retreat even further to Wall Rose after an armored titan crashes through the gate. A year passes and there is not enough food to support the overflow of refugees coming from Wall Maria with food supply. In order to clear up food for the remaining population, the central government sends 250,000 refugees to retake Wall Maria, including Armin's grandfather. 3 kids join the 104th Cadet Corps led by Keith Sharda a year later. More characters are introduced to us: Jin Kirstein, Marco Bott, Connie Springer, and Sasha Browse. After Mikasa shot the 3rd maneuver gear aptitude test while Eren struggled, he eventually passed after meeting Rainer, who helped him train. 2 years later, the cadets trained in hand-to-hand Eren getting his butt whooped by Annie Leonhardt, and the 104th Cadets finally completed their training. Eren chose to join the Scouts, followed by Armin and Mikasa. Eren is confident 5 years after his mother's death. Later, the colossal titan kicks through the wall once again. This time, as Eren confronts the colossal titan, it mysteriously vanishes. The military strategy is devised and Eren and Mikasa are divided. Eren, Armin, and Thomas are tasked with supporting the front line, and as they enter the battle, an abnormal titan appears. Unfortunately, Eren and his companions witness the devouring of Thomas. Rage-filled, Eren races to slay the titan, but before he gets there, a titan clips him out of midair, resulting in the loss of a leg. Eren's squad sets out to try to rescue him, but everything goes wrong and one by one his unit is wiped off. Then a titan tries to devour Armin, but Eren stops it by stepping into the monster's mouth and being eaten whole. During the panic, a merchant's wagon blocks the townspeople's only escape route, just as a titan appears to be nearing the escape route. Mikasa kills the titan on time and threatens the traders to remove their wagon so that the people can pass. Then, a flashback to Mikasa's early years shows her being kidnapped and her parents being killed. Eren gets involved to save Mikasa during her kidnapping, and his parents take her in. Mikasa learns about Eren's death through Armin in the present. She encourages the others to move, but sadly her heartbreak manifests physically. Her equipment runs out of gas as she is attacked by a titan, and she nearly loses hope of survival. But memories of Eren empower her to avoid the titan when another one appears. This titan, however, kills the other one, saving her. After Mikasa is saved by Armin, she tells him what transpired. Then Armin devises a plan to exploit the strange titan in an attack on the other titans in headquarters. Armin's preparations successfully lure the abnormal titan, who then kills the surrounding titans while Armin devises a strategy to clear the storage area so they can refuel their equipment. When the battling titan eventually reaches its breaking point, the titan collapses and the corpse begins to steam away as an unconscious Eren appears at the titan's neck, reunited with Mikasa. Flashback to earlier that day before the attack, and the Rican court had departed on a mission, which is why the attack was far more destructive than it should have been. And it is here that we first meet Commander Erwin, Captain Levi, and the chatty genius Hange Zhou. As the mission progresses, they begin to see that the Titans are heading towards the city and begin to retreat out of dread. We briefly forward to the incident when Eren, who had just saved Armin, had been gobbled by the Titan. Being trapped within the Titan's stomach, he starts to lose control when he notices all the floating corpses. It is then shown Eren changing into the abnormal Titan as he used his Titan fist to break free from the Titan's mouth. In the present, Mikasa and Armin defend Eren from frightened troops who are prepared to kill them at any time. Mikasa prepares to flee over the wall while seizing Eren. He notices the key that his father gave him hanging around his neck, and memories of his father injecting him with the mystery liquid begin to return, informing him that he needs to learn to control this ability and take back the Wall Maria so that he can go to his father's basement. The captain gives the order to fire the cannon during a tense standoff. Mikasa and Armin are saved by Eren, who instantly changes into a Titan and catches the cannonball. Eren emerges from the incomplete Titan body exhausted, while Armin, who up until this point had considered himself a burden, persuades many soldiers to let them live. Fortunately, Commander Pixies steps in and stops the frenzied captain from attacking. Because of his superiority, every soldier, even the captain, obeys Pixies' command to listen to Eren and them out. After hearing the trio's reasoning, he agrees to look after them. Eren is introduced by Pixies to the troops, saying that he is a research experiment with the power to transform into a Titan. The commander starts to plot how they'll use Eren to seal up the hole in the wall. He wants to send send a small squad of elites to accompany and guard Eren while he transports the boulder to the hole. To reduce resistance, a decoy squad will be sent out to draw the Titans away from the Eren. Eren arrives to the boulder and changes as Mikasa stands nearby, but she notices something is amiss and Eren attacks Mikasa. Mikasa deflects a barrage of strikes and attempts to converse with Eren, who then accidentally knocks himself unconscious. As Titans approach their location, the elite team shields the unconscious Eren. Armin stabs the Titan's neck, injuring Eren and causing him to awaken. After regaining control of his Titan, Eren begins to bring the boulder to the hole in the wall and successfully closes it. Following the successful attempt to retake the town, Jean informs us that Marco has sadly died. Later, Commander Edwin and Captain Levi interrogate Eren as he is being detained by the military police in his cell. Eren expresses his desire to join the Recon Corps and exterminate the Titans, which persuades Levi, and he declares that he will accept responsibility for Eren. Later, Commander-in-Chief Dallas Zachary shows up to discuss Eren's destiny and decide which regiments should be in charge of him. While some believe he should be executed, Commander Erwin suggests using him to reclaim Wall Maria. Eren, who really ought to keep his lips shut, yells at the protesters, calling them cowards, but Levi brutally silences him, putting a display of Levi's power over Eren and his threat to execute him if he ever rebels. Zachary consents to allow Captain Levi and Commander Erwin take him. Eren moves in with the Recon squad after being pardoned. We welcome a few new members of the Levi squad or Special Ops unit. We join Hange once more and learn more about her as she is in charge of researching captive Titans and spends a full night informing Eren all she knows. Later, recruits and their equipment were investigated in an effort to identify the killers of the captive Titans. In light of his friend Marco's death, Jean reflects on some of the things Marco said to him and decides to join the Recon Corps. The night before the mission, Commander Erwin addresses the potential scouts. This marks the official commencement of the 57th expedition by the Recon Corps. He tells them that the majority of them will certainly perish and gives them the option of joining or leaving to serve the king. Most of them ultimately left. The expedition begins that day with an ingenious formation that uses smoke signals to steer clear of common Titans as they move. Armin and his squad commander Dita Ness encounter an unusual female Titan during the expedition who seems to be intelligent. Ness tries to attack the female Titan after seeing the deaths of most of his unit, but the Titan savagely kills him. Armin was paralyzed with horror and unable to move. However, after inspecting Armin's face, the female Titan mysteriously spares his life. As a result, Armin deduces that she is looking for someone, most likely Eren, who is at the middle of the formation. Armin is rejoined by Rainer and Jean, and the three of them set off to pursue the Titan. Following their brief discussion, the three agree that the female is being controlled by a human, just like Eren. All of their attempts to injure her and dissuade her from getting to Eren failed, and Rainer nearly dies as a result. But they were all able to get away. Instead of abandoning the mission after spotting the smoke signal of the slain right-wing squad, Armin's squad, Erwin leads the center formation into a forest of massive trees, while the side formation groups round the forest. Levi instructs Eren's troop to keep riding as they are being pursued by the female Titan, which pays off since a trap set up by Erwin to capture the female Titan is just ahead. As the female Titan catches up with them, she is caught in a bombardment of traps. Levi returns to Erwin to find out who is in the Titan as Levi's squad and Eren go on without him. There is a slight upset within Levi's group as a result. They discuss the reason they were not informed of the ambush and came to the conclusion that there was probably a spy among them. The army's attempts to extract the human within the female Titan are unsuccessful since the skin can harden, making attacks ineffective. The female Titan screams for help and Titans begin to emerge. There is no evidence that whomever was inside the female Titan's body was killed, despite the Titans devouring it from all sides. The command to retreat is given to all squads. As Erwin theorizes, the person who is in the body of the female Titan is now among them as one of their own. And Erwin's hunch is confirmed when whomever was in the female Titan disguises herself as a Recon Corps member and fires a green smoke fire, leading the Levi squad to set up their own flare, betraying their position. The mysterious character attacks and kills Gunther using 3D maneuver gear. Armin concludes that the special Titans were there when Eren first transformed into a Titan. Levi's squad and Eren continue running to save Eren from the disguised assailant who transforms back into the female Titan. The female Titan kills the remaining members of the Levi's team. Eren thus snaps and changes to battle the female Titan. He throws hard punches into the ground twice, breaking both of his arms. After they regenerate, he stands up and the female Titan kicks him in the face, slicing his face in two. Eren is then abducted and Mikasa arrives just in time. However, she is unsuccessful in her attempts to save Eren, and just as she is ready to try again, Levi shows up and he instructs her to be calm and follow the Titan, because she is probably exhausted. After some time, Levi and Mikasa start attacking the female Titan. Levi displays his tremendous talent skills, and they successfully retrieve Eren before fleeing, leaving the female Titan alive. The #1 priority is to keep Eren alive. When they go home, they are greeted with disdain for failing, and they are ordered to give up Eren. Annie's military police group is charged with escorting Eren's scout group around the capital, and he is pulled to the side by Armin, who asks for her aid escaping Eren, and she accepts. With Jin serving as Eren's decoy, they make it through to an underground section, which Annie refuses to walk into and realizes there hasn't been any people there for a long time and knows something is up. We then return to Armin's memories. During the inspections, Armin had seen that Annie was using Marco's 3D gear because he had worked on it with him and recognized the dents and scratches on it. Marco was Jin's friend who mysteriously died during the Battle of Tross. Mikasa outright accuses Annie of being the female Titan, and Annie reacts to the accusations with hysteria. Then Annie changes into the female Titan. By Annie's transformation, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa are trapped in the tunnels. Eren tries to transform but finds it difficult, as he cannot come to terms to accept Annie as the female Titan. Annie smashes through the ground, burying Eren beneath rubble, while Mikasa begins to attack the Titan. And more soldiers show up during the battle. Mikasa is defeated after being knocked out in the fight. Eren is finally able to transition into his Titan form after being fueled with so much wrath. He starts the last bout by landing a sucker blow on Annie. After demolishing a temple that was full of people, Eren and Annie square off. Annie defeats Eren fast and easily. Eren briefly appears to be out of the fight as Annie makes her way for the wall in an attempt to flee. Eren stands up with his Titan body engulfed in flames as he repeats his favorite quote, "Tatake," out of sheer wrath. As the police arrest Commander Erwin, Eren chases Annie through the city, causing massive destruction and many deaths. The Titans battle fiercely as Annie begins to think of her father, desperately trying to escape by climbing up the wall, but Mikasa slices her fingers off. Eren smashes her head clean off, but he freezes when he sees her human form, allowing Annie to protect herself inside a solid cocoon. All attempts are made to extract her, but they all fail miserably. Erwin is afterwards questioned about the operation, and while some argue that it was pointless and Erwin persuades them otherwise, the scouts are ultimately given control to Annie. Following is revealed in the closing credits that a piece of Sina's wall was broken during the Titans' battle, and portions of the wall broke apart, exposing a Titan's face within.